Hey, what's going on there, Mission students? I want you to think for a second about your brother or your sister. Now, I know this may not be true for all of you, but if you have a brother or sister, actually just comment and just be, you can do like a hand-raised emoji, or you can just be like me. You can list off their names if you have multiples of them. But think for a moment, if you have a brother or a sister, all right, picture them in your mind. Picture them doing all of the annoying things that you think that they do. Maybe it's borrowing your stuff without asking. It's coming into your room uninvited. It's just asking the same question again and again and again, or whatever that thing is. Maybe you think about the way that your parents treat them, and it feels like that they get away with everything, or they never have to do as many chores as you. All right, you tracking with me on this? Like, think about that. Think about those experiences. And here's why this is really important. Because this Sunday, we're kicking off a series on a book of the Bible called James. And the reason that that's so important is because James is actually the brother of Jesus. Now imagine for a moment, right? Like I just told you to picture kind of like the challenges that you might have with your brother and sister. Now imagine for a moment growing up in a household with Jesus as your brother. Just like imagine that for a moment. Guy never makes a mistake, right? Would probably always be mom and dad's favorite because he does what he asks. He goes the extra mile. He's extra kind, right? Like that would be a difficult situation to be in. I don't know about you, but I would actually probably start to get a bit frustrated. I'd be like, man, who does this guy think he is? He walks around like he's the son of God or something like that, right? And so this is why this is super cool that we're starting this series, because we're going to actually see the perspective of somebody who knew Jesus better than maybe any other person who captured ideas and information about Jesus in the Bible, right? That a lot of the information that we have around Jesus are perspectives that came from his disciples who were around for 3 years and walked with him and saw the things that he did. But James literally like knew Jesus for his entire life. And so this is why it's going to be really cool, is we're going to see how formational this journey can be on our lives when we look through the lens of the brother of Jesus. And just even imagine for a moment, by the way, what would it take for your brother, your sister, the person that you're around constantly, to convince you that they were actually God in human form, like the Son of God sent to earth to save the world from sin, right? Like just imagine what would need to happen in your mind for you to go, oh, I believe. But that's what happened with James. We actually know that early on, he didn't believe that Jesus was who he said he was. That we get the perspective that James thought Jesus was maybe a little on the nuts side. But then something shifted and he began to believe, and he became one of the early church fathers, the person who really spread the movement of Jesus from the very beginning. And so we're going to lean into that, and we're going to learn some things from James, passed from Jesus to us thousands of years later, that I think are going to be really important for us as a church. And I'm excited about this series because it's something we're going to do together as a church. Kids, students, and adults, we're all going to go over the course of the next 5 weeks on this journey through James. And I couldn't be more pumped to kick it off this week as we talk about maybe one of the craziest verses in the Bible. All right, so join us this Sunday, 10 a.m. We'll be back to have our small groups this Sunday. Middle schoolers, your small group will happen right after the 10 a.m. premiere. High school students, your groups will still be meeting on Sunday evenings like they have been. But join us at 10 a.m. as we kick off our journey through James, and we look at what I think might be one of the craziest and most difficult to believe verses in the Bible. We'll see you Sunday.